Greetings, everybody. I am Paul, the producer, and this is FitSpaz Recovery. I'm here to help you get fit, healthy, and stay sober. And I'm coming at you a day late on this show. Yesterday, I had a mopey day. I had a lazy day. I'm not feeling exactly super happy because my back is still out of sorts from shoveling super heavy snow last week. I have like a little bit of a pinch. In fact, after this recording, after I get it all up on the internet, I think I'm gonna go and lie down on my massage bed upstairs. I have a very fancy massage bed and I haven't done that for a while, just to get the tissues in my back loosened up, see if I can sort out that pinch. But unfortunately, it's been causing me not to be able to do my full workouts like I would like, especially certain moves that incorporate the legs and the lower back area. I'm having to take it very easy because I don't want to hurt myself unnecessarily. And so that's what I'm doing. And so I'm not getting the full workouts, although on other things I'm still pushing very hard. Yesterday I just looked at what was on the schedule. It's called chisel cardio, and it's all these things that will re-injure and irritate that area of my back. So I'm like, you know what? No, I'm not going to do it. So yesterday I went on a half-hour walk. I did a full body stretch. I did foam rolling. So I treated it like a recovery day with some light cardio in the form of walking. And it doesn't make me super happy. And today was tentative. I thought I'll get up and see how I feel. And if I'm just not good, I'm going to do an arm workout. So I wound up doing something called bulk arms. And I love that one. And even still, my back is in such a way that when I'm leaning over to pick up the weights, and it's not that much weight. I think the most I picked up today was like 40 pounds at once, 20 each hand. And leaning over to do that caused some irritation in my back. I have this easy curl bar. When I'm leaning back on the bench, I'm a little like, ow, that's not so nice. Especially when I'm down on my back and I sit up to an upright position. That's not good. So nonetheless, this is the point I really wanted to get to. I was bumming out a little bit yesterday, giving myself a hard time like, oh, I didn't do my workout like I want to do. Darn it. And so, but then I reached the evening and I was like, you know what? Take it easy. Give myself a break. I'm in excellent physical condition from everything that I've been doing. I have persisted to work out even though I've had this discomfort in my back. And so there's no reason for me to be down on myself. So I gave myself a pass. And today I got up, and even though I have every excuse in the world to make today a rest day or not do anything, I decided, hey, I'm going to get up and I'm going to do my arms. I loved it. I've missed that workout. Lifting weights today, because the program I've been doing, Hammer and Chisel, it seems to neglect the arms quite a bit. I mean, they do some arm exercises, but nothing like the way you hit them in this weightlifting body beast thing that I do. And so I was like, gosh, I really miss straightforward weightlifting. And I know I'm going to be getting back into this because I know I want to build up my muscle mass a little more. And so we'll see. But the bottom line is, we got to give ourselves a break, people. There are all kinds of reasons we dump on ourselves, and sometimes we have to recognize when that's just not a productive thing to do, and we have to cultivate the habit of letting go of that. Stop harping on oneself where it doesn't benefit you. Recognize that. I know people who call themselves names. They disparage themselves, and not in a joking, funny way, but in a demeaning way, which I've been known to do, but I've really put a stop to that because I've been all about reprogramming my mind. And that is possible, but you have to surrender to the process. You have to realize that you don't have to be dumping on yourself all the time. So my message to you today is to give yourself a break like I gave myself a break, okay? And I'm wondering if there's anything else I want to say on that topic. Just give your mind as much positive as you can, because life presents you with plenty of negatives. You'll have plenty of opportunity to experience negative in life. So if you can, at a given moment, just take it easy and give yourself a break, okay? Dig my shirt. That's my free shirt from doing Warrior Dash. And I'm proud. I did that last year. I think I'm going to sign up and do it again next fall. And I probably should have done, what's this other thing? They have the Spartan race. I should have signed up to do that, but I was like, I don't know. When you get beyond 5 kilometers, like when you say run 5 miles, I'm like, oh, yucky. I don't want to run 5 miles. I don't feel a need to run 5 miles. I don't mind a shorter distance and climbing over obstacle courses, getting myself exhausted in a million ways. But running 5 miles, I'm like, nah, no thank you. What else do I have for you guys? I've been thinking about something. Okay. This is what's been on my mind a little bit. And I'm going to try not to go too off the rails with this. But I have this message I'm going to read. It is essentially, there are these other recovery podcasts I've been following occasionally because I want to see what other people in the community do. And it's not a competitive thing for me. It's just like, oh, how are other people doing this? How are others helping people learn how to sober up? What kind of pointers do they have that I might be able to incorporate, not copy, but incorporate into my own thing? Just learning so that I can be better at helping people. You know what I mean? I don't think there should be ever too many people out there who are aspiring to help others. And so I got this message from my friend Howard. What's up, Howard? And he was telling me about this other podcast called Share Podcast, and telling me specifically that somebody was giving this guy a hard time. I don't even know the guy who hosts it at the moment, but I have listened to it, and I don't know the name. I think his name is Paul, actually. I think he has my name. So it's called Share Podcast. And what does he say here to me? So I don't have the update one where I responded. Well, he says, this guy wants to monetize his recovery podcast and provide services to people with addictions. He likes podcasting. His show has a following, but he's gone through a storm as people have opinions on making money off recovery and bringing up AA traditions where that's not allowed. Excuse me, though, whatever. Yeah, I'm going to be saying a little something about that. The guy says he's not AA, but he does endorse it and talk a lot about it. So what if he talks about it? As long as he's not divulging what goes on in there personally, he can talk about whatever he wants to talk about. It reminded me, Howard, of me because I guess he says I could connect with those guys. And but the thing I wanted to bring that up for was specifically. And this is where I think I have something interesting to say. I have experience in my history with people being like, how dare you aspire to make money with something? Huh. And you know what? Let me put it to you this way, as simply as I can, but I'm going to just riff on this topic as long as I want and get really passionate because it frustrates me, okay? So there's this guy out there doing a podcast about recovery, and here's a question. Is he helping people? If the answer is yes, and if he's also genuinely a nice person and authentic, then like more power to you, because you know what? If you're devoting your time, your treasure, and your talent, then you deserve to be rewarded for what you're doing. I'm not saying it should be all about the reward. I'm not saying anybody anywhere should be sticking it above and beyond to people and taking too much for what you're doing. Of course, it's like, how do you determine what someone's worth? But that's not my point. My point is somebody deserves to earn who's out there pouring their life into their purpose for the sake of getting to know people, trying to help people, especially when it's about recovery, okay? So somebody out there has an opinion that you're trying to make money on this, so he should just do it for free because you say it should be his charity to the world to spend all this time on it and not receive any remuneration. That's payment for you silly people out there who don't know what that means. So like he's working really hard helping people. And he's devoting time and treasure, and I'm sure the guy has bills to pay, whether it's rent or a mortgage or living expenses. You need an internet to upload your show to the internet, and that doesn't come free. You need website hosting, and usually that's not free. I pay $60 a month to be able to host websites on a little server image spot there. So like, when and how much do you decide what he deserves to earn? How do you make a moral judgment call to say, oh no, this is not worth it? But what I say to that person who's criticizing somebody who's just in the business of trying to help others is you work for free then. You say you want to help people, go help people for free. By all means, you're free to do that. If you want it to be your charity for the world, produce a podcast, make videos, pour your heart and soul out with perspective, trying to get people to sober up. I think if somebody were just in it for money, you would do something more fun and entertaining than merely trying to talk to people about sobering up. Yeah, it's good. It has its purpose. It can be interesting if you have the right personalities and the right subject matter on a given day. But again, you know where that term time, treasure, and talent comes from? It's from my dad, who when I was doing my previous podcast, he always used to say, why don't you ask for donations? And I was always reluctant to do that. I didn't want to do it that way. But from a moral, ethical standpoint, there's nothing wrong with doing that if you're devoting all of that stuff to try and entertain people. In my case, I had rent to pay on a studio downtown. It was an actual business. And people actually have real world bills in business. And it takes money and effort that you have to make to pay those bills. Does this sound condescending? Because it should. Some people out there who are heavily critical of that, of course I have a problem with you. What are you doing? What are you doing to earn a living is what I should say. Because this podcast for me is purpose-driven. Just like I'm sure it's purpose-driven over at the Share podcast. It's purpose-driven when your goal is to help people and you put all your time and effort into it. You shouldn't deserve something back. Whatever people think it's worth, if someone appreciates it, oh, hey, you do this good service for me. Let me throw a tip your way. Do you tip when you go to a restaurant? Is it any different than somebody giving a tip at a restaurant if it's just you decide to take donations? And I don't know exactly what the problem was. I didn't listen. I just got fired up when I heard somebody has a problem with somebody making money, and it's like, get real. Get totally real. Just because someone wants to make money doesn't invalidate what, if it's a normal, authentic, real, genuine desire to hurt people, it doesn't invalidate their right and they're deserving to make something for that. Of course I feel freaking strongly about it. I'm so tired of people saying, he's so about money. God forbid we want to get ahead in life. You know what? I've had a lot of choices as an adult, and my daughter, someday she's going to be a grown-up, and I really hope and pray that what I do between now and then guarantees that she has all the choices I had to do whatever it is I want because of a parent who worked before me, because of the work I have put in. I hope someday that my hard work passes on to her so that she can choose to do anything she wants. And that's purpose-driven. Do you know what I'm saying? And I mean, like, Gee whiz. And you know what let me tell you something about my past history. When I used to do something called Marijuana Radio, I had a ton of listeners. It dwarfed anything anyone's doing in the recovery community, believe me. And people were all critical of me because I wanted to make a buck because I sold advertising. And they would go after my sponsors and tell them, Paul's bad for the movement. But I have a gigantic libertarian streak. I believe in a real free market system, not a phony one with oligarchs and so forth. I believe in one where, like, my purpose on Marijuana Radio was about your liberty, even more than you might appreciate it, because people out there are like, I just want to be free to get high. Excuse me. For me, I valued freedom for the sake of freedom and the freedom of choice to do something, not to have the freedom to get high, the freedom to have the choice. Do you understand the difference? And like fleshing out freedom in the large perspective, let me tell you what else freedom is. It's not being addicted to something. That's what this is about. Purposeful. So like, make $1 million a year, Share Podcast. I will salute you. I'll congratulate you. I'll be glad, as long as that means you're helping a ton of people and there's really something special there. By all means, do it. Let's all do it. As long as we're helping people, then you can help people genuinely and it'll serve the goal of like maybe making a living in this world, but it's not about the living. It's just a wonderful reward you have for hard work and caring about people. A couple months ago, I had people telling me, you just are trying to get people into fitness to make money. And it's like, no, I'm not. Anyone making that judgment is out of their freaking mind. Especially people doing the exact same thing. What the hell's the matter with you? So everybody get off your high horse. I don't mean to sound too mean-spirited. That's not my intent. But I feel really strongly about this. Like, someone's doing good out there, and there's always someone that's going to want to bring them down. I remember Enrique Iglesias, and whether you like him or not, like, he was on Howard Stern once, and he said, like, when you get somewhere, there's always somebody trying to tear you down, to criticize you, to make you feel bad, disparaging you, because they're so deranged because of what they lack in their own life. Stop focusing on what other people have and focus on what you want and finding it, getting it, accomplishing it through well-intended purpose. So yeah, I feel strongly about it, people. What do you want me to say? Like, oh yeah, how dare he try and profit off of the recovery industry? You know what? Go after healthcare companies. Go after rehab centers who are like, $10,000 a month to be treated like a star, to have your butt wiped, and like, give me a break with that stuff. There's obviously price gouging, and somebody at this level of podcasting, whether it's Share Podcast or me, nobody's in a position to gouge anybody for everything. How do you determine that value? How at this beginning stage of doing this could you even remotely criticize somebody for what they're trying to do? Oh, he might deserve it might be like a $50, $100 donation if he really helps somebody. They're like, thank you, dude. I'll give this to you. For God's sake, thank you for helping me through this dire problem I have in my life. And it's not all the focus on the profit. It's you wind up achieving that goal because there's something authentic about how you pursue your purpose with it. And that applies to everything, okay? As long as you're trying to help people, profit is good always if the goal is first and foremost real and authentically and legitimately to help people, okay? And then there are healthcare companies who gouge you to death ridiculously. There are healthcare companies that just try and get you sick, layering medication on top of medication, getting you sicker and sicker and sicker, and ching, 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 ching! Give me a break, will ya? Okay? So do you understand what I'm saying? Try and be a little more understanding about what people are dealing with in life, their goals. And so even though I don't know that guy personally, it's very easy for me to identify with the little story I've been told, because there's always someone like, they want to profit. Go to another country where the idea of making a living is not allowed. You're assigned a job. And if you don't appreciate your freedom, that's what it is. Freedom. I want the freedom to help people authentically, for real. How many times have I said that in this? But I feel it so strongly. I kind of feel like somebody in such a selfish position needs it shoved down their throat until they're suffocating and they go, oh, and you spit it out and you go, oh, sorry, I get it. You've said it a million times. I get it. And if you don't get it, go find something else. Don't listen. Tune out, or do something all your own for free. Set the example for how you're so great that you can pour all this energy, time, and devotion, love, and care into something like this. Do you think this is easy? Let me tell you. I set all this up back here, but I'm very lazy about it compared to the way I used to approach this in the past. But you show me that you can do it, that you can help people, and you can do such a great job and never receive anything in return. And as for talking about Alcoholics Anonymous, give me a break. The whole thing about it is, if you're not divulging anyone's personal details there, you can talk here about how it works. Do you understand how that works? If people want to come on here and divulge their own personal details like me, yes, that's okay. I'm sorry, but that's okay. It is not okay if I start saying so-and-so at the meeting was saying na, and it's all personal, private stuff. That's entirely different. So give me a break, especially Alcoholics Anonymous. They're all like, oh yeah, I'm an alcoholic, which means I'm addicted, but we can't be addicted to marijuana. And I've ranted on that here. I've been very critical of Alcoholics Anonymous on here because they sit there in judgment of people who come in and might have a problem with marijuana. They're like, looking down at you, we don't think this is for you. But if you follow the Alcoholics Anonymous plan in the 12 steps, you're supposed to get rid of that kind of ego and resentment and judgment, basically. Don't you understand what an addiction is? And if you think it's not an addiction when you're smoking weed all the time to deal with your alcohol, you're in severe denial. And I want you to wake up and experience real sobriety so you can experience that real peace. Because marijuana does whack you upside the head and change your perspective of everything. And yes, this show's going up. I don't think I've been over the top. I've been very passionate and loud and vocal and outspoken. But give me a break with your, you don't deserve to earn $1. Yeah, I'm taking it out on here. That's therapeutic for me because, like, people deserve to earn. I will repeat it again and then I will try and go on to something else. People deserve to earn a living when they are pouring their time, treasure, and talent into their purpose. And when their purpose is something that they pursue authentically, and when it helps people, they deserve to be rewarded. And I commend them and I reward them because it takes courage and wherewithal to get up here in front of people and have an opinion. And if you differ and if you hate me and if you seriously must go out and ban sponsors and because you disagree with me, you're sick in the head. And all we're trying to do is sit here and help people, and you have a problem with it. So you bet I take issue with it. You know what? So, I mean, this topic, the genesis of this topic today was born out of what my friend Howard told me about the Share podcast. But really, I have a personal experience with this, working my tail off, trying to make something work in the past. And so it triggers this deeply seated emotional feeling I have about being able to earn a living and deserving it. You deserve it if you work hard. You deserve it if you help people. God, am I a broken record today. But am I a funny one? Or am I like, is it at least interesting to follow because you actually hear that I mean what the devil I'm saying? I bloody damn well mean it. I've been thinking about recategorizing this podcast to be explicit on iTunes because I just want to swear. I just want to cuss and throw the F word out there like crazy. And that'll alienate some people. Some people don't want to hear mad guttural linguistics all up in their ears and stuff. And so, but I mean, like, what am I going to do? I don't know. What am I going to do? What am I going to do? The point is, yes, still that I do want to help people, and I hope some of this gets through to some people. Like, hey, you know what? If you heard what I said, I would love it if you went over to that guy at Share Podcast, check out what he does, and I think it's the Share Podcast, SHAIR podcast.com, and donate to him. Just give it to him because you believe he's authentic and real and doing good for others. And pay no mind to the best of your ability, but obviously it triggers me when I hear people like depriving others of the right to earn a living for pursuing their God-given purpose in life. I want to deprive you. I don't really. On the contrary, I just want you to realize, hey, let's help people out. You should not, in fact, be judging a good person like that doing that kind of work. You should be thinking to yourself, how can I help this person along? Has he helped me? Maybe that would be a nice gesture, donating something to him if he helps me. And I'm not saying donate to me. I don't even have a donate button. I'm just saying I don't mind when people do, because I know the hard work they put in, trying to do something of substance, of meaning, reaching people on a deep level. You want a following. If you're doing a podcast, you want a following. You want people to identify with what you're saying, and you want your audience to feel like they're your lifers, to use Chalene Johnson's terminology. You know what I mean? And let me just conclude in my own way by saying, sometimes I think I need to be doing another show that is not recovery related, not fitness related, not even necessarily helping people per se, but political, because I was in the shower today and I had wild, crazy thoughts about politics, which I'm not going to express right now. But I don't feel like this venue, the way I've been trying to build it, is the appropriate venue to express those thoughts. So I've been thinking about a completely different project, and I'll basically have the same exact thing behind me with a different logo on these two things, talking about politics. Because I still think nobody out there quite hits the nail on the head the way that it just quite works for me. And everybody out there doing something. I agree with some stuff, disagree with other stuff, and so. But sometimes I think I'm changing, and I want to do something alternate in addition to this on a different website, not even related to this, but it will jeopardize this. What I'm trying to do with this, it'll jeopardize this, because people, people try and be good people is what I'm saying. People can't, you know how it relates to what I was saying earlier is I want to see people agreeing with one another, or disagreeing, but still being able to maintain mutual respect. Do you realize what that means in terms of intellectual maturity? Being able to just completely disagree with somebody, but still be friends, still respect one another for the way you can express an idea to them, and not have it devolve into some kind of insulting, mean argument. Do you realize what a beautiful thing that is? That's what we should all strive for, no matter what the topic is. And I fall into it myself. I get angry and I get enraged with certain things, but I have a handful of friends and family members I can express myself thoroughly with the way I am, who I am, and I don't receive some kind of condemning judgment. It's just like, yeah, okay, and you're still welcome to hang out with us and have dinner, but we get off on the different perspectives in the debate. Instead, I don't want to see people hating one another when they disagree. I want to see people uniting, realize, okay, I see why you feel that way. God forbid, here's something I'll say political. I'm not voting for Hillary Clinton in a million years, but yesterday I was hearing something she said, and I'm like, oh my God, I agree with her completely, entirely. And it's not a reason to flip out for anybody, because it's that specific point, that specific topic. I was like, yep, I agree with her. I can't not agree with her. And I'm not going to even get into what the topic was, but I feel strongly about it. And I would get into the topic on the other podcast I'm talking about. But let me... What the heck? Oh, yes, here we go. I want to wrap this up. And of course, you have just been treated to a wild and crazy rant by Paul the producer. Feels like the old days. And no one's sitting there to be like, ooh, calm down, ooh, calm down. No! It's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be entertaining. You get the real and authentic, and it should, energize your spirit. So, this is FitSpaz Recovery. It's all about making you think. It's all about wanting you to be healthy and fit and stay sober. And I think I can help along those lines. I think I have some perspective. I have some perspective. And I'm going to raise taxes on you. And I'm going to force you. No, never mind. I don't know where that was going. But anyway, it was sort of a very bad Bernie Sanders impression. But anyway, check out more episodes by going to FitSpaz.com. You can, of course, subscribe to the podcast in iTunes. You can subscribe to these videos and see my pretty mug expressing myself and all that jazz by going to the YouTube page, all available through FitSpaz.com. Send me your feedback to Paul@FitSpaz.com. Don't be hating, because I be blocking those who be hating. If you have a lucid, polite disagreement, then by all means express it. But if you're gonna be mean or come after me, I'll block you, because I try to filter out the negative. I'm trying to program my mind here to be positive and on the upbeat, just like you should be. And that's how I feel today. And this was therapeutic for me, and this was not overly mean. Believe me, this was mild compared to this crazy way I can get on certain topics when I'm mad at certain people. Believe me. Okay? I had to dispose of a show a couple weeks ago because it was way overboard. Way overboard. I smacked this table in front of me and I was screaming like I was enraged, and I'm not perfect. And who's perfect? And I hope on some level you can identify with that. But I'm going to let you go. That's it for this week, everybody. And I hope you've enjoyed this on some level. And we will talk to you next week. Peace!